So, it's April and that means it's spoiler season, and now the first wave of Ikoria spoilers are out, it means that I can start making a tier list. I've been wanting to make tier lists for the previous sets, but I've just not really been sure how to structure the format, but I think I've got it now, and this is a great way of being able to discuss all the cards that are coming out for a new set, as well as kinda have them all ranked as well. So I don't think this kind of video needs much of an introduction, but if you like the video, I will be doing it for the next sets coming out, so by all means, maybe you should like and subscribe. But let's get on with it. Hey, so before we get on with the rest of the video, if you could consider liking the video, commenting the video, subscribing if you enjoyed it, and hitting the bell icon, and also you could follow us on Facebook and Twitter if you enjoy magic memes, and also follow us on Twitch where you get to watch videos like this happen live. So yeah, let's just get on with it. Huntsman Liger, and it's 4 mana, 3 and a white. And it's the first mutate card on the list, and it's first card. And whenever this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is the number of times the creature is mutated. This seems like it's super slow. Stat-wise, it's like fine. Art-wise, it's amazing. But ultimately, I just don't ever see myself, mutating something. And especially, like, I don't see myself mutating this just so I can get a temporary, like, +X/+X till the end of turn. Doesn't seem worth it to me. Like, perhaps in limited, but there's going to be a lot of cards where I go, perhaps in limited, you know what I mean? Like, it's exactly glacially fucking slow. So, this ain't it. At the very least, it mutates for 3, so that's something. So, where are we going to stick this? Right, well, I'm going to put this firmly in... I'm thinking this is a D. It's definitely not totally unusable, but it's just... In fact, right, okay, you know what? Stat-wise, it's like fine. So it's like a C. And then I might, rearrange it as we go on. Ikoria the Macrophage. Legendary creature, Dinosaur Hippo. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with a converted mana cost 3 or greater. Then has Companion, right, which is a new mechanic. And if your deck contains only cards with converted mana cost 3 or greater, you get the Companion mechanic, and that just means that you can cast it from your sideboard, presumably, at any point. So it's like starting with an extra card in your hand, but considering it's 5 mana, does that really matter? See if there's like mechanics, if there's any companions where it's like 1 or 2 mana, then it'll probably be a bit more interesting as to what they do. But in terms of this, I'm not convinced on the companion part. It's way too restrictive, especially for standard 3 or greater. You're not in this format. You're definitely not getting away with that. But however, its other effect I actually think is pretty good. You definitely don't start with it on the battlefield. You definitely don't. But when it enters battlefield, drawing a card for each other permanent, I think this combo as well extremely with the new Vivian Planeswalker, which we'll get to. I can see this being a fairly decent like 5 mana card. Maybe play like in a 2 of in like Semi-Gramp or like Mono Green Stompy. So when it comes to Ikoria, it's probably not a B. You know, right, okay, we'll say it's a B for now, right? We'll say it's a B for now. Gloom Pangolin, right? So, this is a common, 3 mana overall, 2 and a black. Right, it's just a 1/5, so this is immediately just E tier. It doesn't do anything. The card has no text. A 5 ass is fine, sure, but I'd just rather play Yoked Ox if I want a big ass on something, so... This ain't seen play, and I definitely ain't picking this in limited either. Right, cool, so we got Illuna Apex of Wishes. Now, again, this is another one of these mutate cards that has fucking amazing art. Fantastic, right? So, right, legendary creature, beast, elemental dinosaur. So that's got some, like, 3 keywords there. 2 Intimer. For 5 mana overall, flying trample, and whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library till you exile a non-land permanent, and then put that card on the battlefield. So, this card's fucked, I think. I think this card's fucking incredible, actually. Considering that, so the mutate cost is still only 5 mana, You can stick this over something or under something. I don't know what the fuck you're sticking this under. But then every time you mutate after that, I can definitely see a deck being based around this and then like lots of like smaller costed mutated cards. If there's anything that's like mutate 1 or 2, it's really going to be able to take advantage of this kind of shit. And just what, until you find a non-land permanent? Yeah, this card's amazing. So, where is it? It is here. I am definitely firmly putting this in an A. This is absolutely an A. Right, okay, so, onto the first Planeswalker, and it's Looker, Coppercoat Outcast, 5 mana, 3 and 2 red, and it's +1, right? Exile the top 3 cards of your library, creature cards exiled this way, gain, you may cast from exile as long as you control a Looker Planeswalker, so I mean, sure, as long as you don't have him, you've got it. So that's pretty interesting. It means that you just keep getting stuff that you can cast, so it's kind of like expanding your hand overall. So that's pretty cool. Exile target creature you control, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card with higher mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield. I think this is very good. It seems to be like a slightly less good version of the Vivian. It's certainly similar to the Vivian, but it's very, very good. So the Vivian gets something with lower mana cost, this gets something with higher. There's probably ways to abuse this. I was thinking you could have something along the lines of, you've got only token creatures and giant guys, so then you make token creatures and then just get a fucking huge guy off of it. I could see that working with that, but I still don't think that's particularly good in standard, especially for a 5 mana Planeswalker when you're dealing with red. Kind of harder to get into, but and then it's -7 is each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. I'm assuming that says power. Yeah, it's just, yeah. So equal to its power. So I mean that's wait, each creature you control deals damage equal to its power. Okay, right. Well, it's that's pretty good. It is a Planeswalker ult, so it's not happening often, but that's it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna stick this in B just now. Could get better. I just think that 5 mana in red, it's not insane, right? It's not insane, but still good. Next we come on to Vivian, and I just feel that the possible applications for Vivian are extreme. This card is amazing. A tier definitely off the bat. 5 mana, 3 and 2 green. If this was 6, it would be balanced, but being 5, it means you can cast it in turn 3 if you ramp properly. And so you may cast creature spells from the top of your deck, so that's alright as well. And you get to look at the top card of your library anytime. So its uptick is great because its uptick creates a 3/3 beast. And so far when I've played Standard, there's been no Planeswalker, especially for 5 mana, that has an uptick to create a guy that creates anything. So far the best thing I've seen is Ashiok. But this is even better than Ashiok because it's a 3/3 beast instead of a 2/3. And it gets either Vigilance, Reach or Trample. So that's sick. And then its down tick is so good. So when you cast your next creature spell, search your library. So you get to search your library for a creature card with lesser mana cost, put on it the battlefield. Fucked. So good. So good. So if you're combining it with that Hippo thing, you can go Vivian, cast Hippo on the next turn. Then Vivian can search Quest and Beast, for example. Hippo comes in, you draw 2 cards. That seems pretty good to me. So Vivian is straight up. Where is she? Vivian's going in A. Absolute. Vivian is definitely A. Well, so far I don't think anything jumps out to me as S, like meta defining, but maybe there's just something in this particular list that I've not read yet. Right, so the next card on the list is Zolartha, Strength Incarnate. Now, I'm not entirely sure how this card works. I imagine it works in the same way where it's like you deal combat damage equal to its toughness, so its toughness becomes its attack. I'm guessing that this works as things attack becomes its toughness. But it's what? 5 mana, green red. That's definitely achievable. It's got trample. It's pretty solid. Presumably being a 7/3, it's it's like a de facto 7/7 is what I'm getting from its effect. I'm just not, because it says lethal damage dealt to creatures is determined by their power rather than toughness. I'm just not sure how this works. If anyone can like clear this up. But currently, it's just a beater. Would I rather play Quest and Beast over this? Almost certainly. Not, I mean, they're different mana costs, but in terms of like big beaters, it's alright. It's a good card, but I don't see it doing like a whole lot. So I'm gonna put it in B. It's like it gives Gruul another option for sure, and we also get the amazing Godzilla art for it. Okay, so next on the list is Luminous Broodmoth. I really like this card. I think 4 mana is the absolute top end you'd want in like White Weenie. I feel like this could work super well in White Weenie. Because you just get to swing your guys in indiscriminately and then they all just fucking come back anyway. So 3/4 flyer, totally fine, but just because this effect allows you to just give 0 fucks, I quite like it. Again, I don't think it's A tier, but I think it's definitely like high B. Because it definitely has use. It just depends on if White Weenie becomes specifically like very pushed, because it's definitely going to be a different kind of White Weenie to the life gain White Weenie we've got. So if like kind of classic White Weenie becomes a thing, I can definitely see Broodmoth definitely playing into that. Okay, next we've got Zagoth Mamba. It's a 1/1 for 1, black. Whenever this creature mutates, target creature an opponent controls gets -2 till end turn. Absolutely sucks dick. I don't think I'd play this even in limited. I mean, maybe you'd have to, depending on certain picks. But this also, a card like this exists and also sort of clears up how mutate works. You can clearly mutate over something that doesn't have mutate. So you can just mutate over anything. So Mamba goes directly into D tier. Yeah, I'd say D. I'd say D. Right, so now we have Dranith Stinger. I think this card's really cool. So 2 mana, 1 and a red. Apparently this card's good in Pauper Storm. Apparently that's a deck that exists. But whenever you cycle another card, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. This probably has better applications in Pioneer. And it has cycling itself. I like that cycling's coming back. I think cycling's a really good mechanic. I'm going to assume that the cycle lands are going to be in this set. And if they are, that's very good. Because lands suck dick. Lands suck dick. And but this card is very, very good. Especially because it works in conjunction with Torbran extremely well. It's not once a turn. Do you know what I mean? You can just keep cycling and doing damage. And with Torbran, that's a lot of damage. But yeah, so I'm going to put Dranith Stinger. Where is he? Yeah, I think this goes in B again. There's definitely a lot of like B cards, for sure. Here we go. Right, fully grown. This is just a extremely inefficient giant growth. It's giant growth, but I'm not paying 2 mana for trample. So when it comes to this card, this is going firmly in. Oh. Yeah, probably D, just because it's completely outclassed by other things. Okay, so this is one that I've actually not read. Mosscoat Goriac. It's just a 2/4 with Vigilance for 3. So, right. That's quite a nice combination for draft, right? So, this seems like a good pick in Limited, personally. It seems like an okay pick. So it goes in C. Only because it seems like a good limited pick. You think it's instant E tier? Its stats are good. Like, 3 mana, 2/4, right? But it's got a bit more of an ass, but it has Vigilance. I think that's alright. I think it's alright. So now we've got Breslin Boar. It's 4 mana. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. A 4 mana, 4/3. You know, I guess it's probably about as good, realistically. Not being able to block by more than 1 means that I'm more inclined to put this in D, personally. You know, this is probably D, but we'll see how I feel. I feel way less good with this than I do with this. Right, so next one, Pacifism. it's just a standard pacifism, except the art is fucking amazing. I love it so much. Like, you know, I'm generally not, I don't really care that much about art for the most part. But this set is really blowing me away, like genuinely loved the art for this set. So, let's go, right. Pacifism is just going straight into C. It's just a useful card, and it's particularly good pick in Constructed, so not Constructed, Limited. Right, so now we've got Cloud Piercer. So it's, oh my god, the alternate art for that is fucking sick. Okay, so it's another common card, and it is shown that the common cards do have Mutate. So it's 5 mana, 4 in a red, Dinosaur. Mutate 3 in a red, so that's nice that it's less, so you can mutate over something. So I guess that does make sense, it's got less mana cost because you could mutate over a small guy, whatever. And whenever this creature mutates, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Fucking terrible. I can see this being useful, I can see this probably being a fairly decent pick in Constructed, personally. Fucking not Constructed, Limited. But I think it goes into probably D tier. Garuda, Doom of Depths, as opposed to Doom of the Depths. That sounds way better, but okay, so it's legendary creature, a Demon Kraken, very nice, right? It's got Companion, right? So you could have this in your sideboard, castable, if your deck contains cards with only even converted mana costs. I don't think it's worth it, personally. I really, like, these kind of things might lend itself well to Hearthstone, but that's essentially missing out every power step that you get from having an extra mana thing, and you're missing out every second one, just for evens. However, you don't need to use a companion, you can still just play it as a guy in your deck. So, when it enters the battlefield, each player puts top 4 cards of the library into the graveyard. Put a creature card with an even converted mana cost from among those cards into the battlefield under your control. I think that is sick for 6 mana. Is there better ones? Well, as an example, it's a similar effect to our guy over here. So it's a less good version because this guy's 5 mana. So I think Doom of Depths goes straight into B tier. Right, so we've got literally the Spell Chaser. This card's pretty cool. Immediately banned in Commander. It's 3 mana, and it's 1 and a blue or red and a blue or red. Elemental Otter, of all things. But at least it's an elemental, so it's got like a useful keyword in it, yeah. So it's got a Companion, and each non-land card in your starting deck has a different name. So it means that if you wanted to have this castable off the bat in Standard, you would have to basically be playing a 60 card singleton deck. We ain't about that, chief. It ain't happening. But if it's in your deck, it's got flash, and when it enters battlefield, you copy target instant or sorcery. So it's like 1/2 of Expansion Explosion on legs. I'm really torn on this because I'm not sure if, like, if you're playing a deck that uses the expansion effect to good effect, I just don't think having a body on top of that for 1 extra mana is really going to be that useful. You probably want to be being more mana efficient, so the extra 1 mana might not be worth it. However, it's certainly not a bad card. I'm really torn on it. Like, the cool thing is that you can use it to, like, copy negates and other such things. You can copy your opponent's thing, and then it comes in and does a thing. So it's quite good in that sense. It's definitely good enough to go into B tier, I think. Like, absolutely, it's at least a B tier card. But at the same time, it's not, like, insane. Right, so Void Beckoner. Right, so it's an 8 mana, 8/8. Okay, so standard. A Nightmare Horror with Death Touch and Cycling. When you cycle Void Beckoner, put a Death Touch counter on target creature you control. This is certainly going to be played. It's going to be a fairly decent beater pick in Limited, but in terms of... it's seeing no constructed play, so it can't go in B unless it was some... I don't know, I can't even think of a card that's going to be insane enough to go into B, but couldn't be played and constructed, so I think it just goes straight into D. You know, if this goes into D, then these go into D as well. Right, so now we've got Vardok, Vadrok, Apex of Thunder. The all art is, again, incredible. Legendary creature, Elemental Dinosaur Cat. Okay, if you want. Its mutate cost is 4 mana, rather than the 3 mana that it normally has to cast. Flying First Strike. So this is a 3 mana flying with First Strike immediately off the bat. That is good stats wise. Even if the mana is like blue, red, white, that's still fine. You are right, Busk. Being able to put Death Touch on a pinger for like the last card is actually like that is very useful in Limited. But okay, whenever this creature mutates, you may cast target non-creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. I think that's actually really sick. That's really sick. If there's a creature with like flash and mutate, you could just like be what, countering stuff from your grave, Deafening Clarion from grave. Well, I mean you wouldn't Deafening Clarion with this specifically, but yeah, this is really cool. This card is really fucking cool. I think this goes into an A tier definitely. This is, man, this card is fucking sick. Actually, this is really, really cool. You get so much value out of this. Okay, let's go straight. This is straight into A, absolutely. Right, so we got Pollywog Symbiote. Right, so this is 2 mana, 1 and a blue, and it's just a frog. Each creature spell you cast costs 1 less to cast if it has mutate. Interesting. Whenever you cast a creature spell, if it has mutate, draw a card and discard a card. You know, this slightly reminds me of Lucky Clover. I can see that if more mutate cards come out, things are going to be more mana efficient. If there's a 2 mana mutate where, cool, I then now get to 1 mana mutate shit and just trigger all those effects, this is definitely going to play a part to that. I can see this being a C tier card currently. It really depends how the format shapes up. It's cool. It doesn't seem to have like immediately like straightly good use. This could potentially go up the more spoilers we see, but this is all we've got to go on currently. Plus it's a 1/3 for 2, so at the very least it can stick about to block. Yumori the Collector, and that's 2 and black green, black green. So this has Companion, and each non-land card in your starting deck shares a card type. Right, so as Yumori the Collector enters the battlefield, choose a card type, right? Spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. So, I mean, I guess you just pick creature, and then makes all your creatures 1 less to cast. And then I guess if everything in your deck's a creature, then you can just play this, and then immediately everything's 1 less. I think that restriction doesn't make the companion stuff just doesn't seem to be worth it. I think this is what they're trying to do with it is really cool, but they just don't seem worth it. This one seems to be the most worth it, but this like choose a card type 1 less to cast. See, because you're using your turn 4 play to do that, and then if they just out this, then that's you still need to deal with it. Well, as in your opponent doesn't need to deal with it. It's just outed. You've just wasted a turn. You've not advanced your game state at all. I don't see this getting played. It's a very cool, interesting effect, but I just don't see it being played. So I think I'm gonna stick this in C tier. It's kind of like that Wave Break Hippocamp. When I read that card, I was like, that card's fucked. I'm gonna see play. Saw no play. This kind of reminds me of that. Right, so we got Titanic Rex. I'm pretty sure this has a Godzilla alternate art to it. But it's 9 mana, 7 and 2 green with trample. It's got a 2 mana cycling. I guess that's alright. Gets in the bin. And then when you cycle it, put a trample counter on a creature you control. That's like okay. I can definitely see this being played in Limited. But outside Limited, this is seeing absolutely no play. Like the 9 mana cost, like there's just way better ways of dealing damage. Like you can win a game before you even see 9 mana. I get you. I mean, you can definitely Bond a Revival this. Would I rather Bond a Revival Dracoseth? Absolutely. So it ain't seen play, bro. It ain't seen play. So it goes into D tier. We've got another one of these legendary mythic bros. It's Snapdax, Apex of the Hunt. Oh Jesus, the fucking all art is just incredible. Anyway, right. So we've got 4 mana, 1 and Mardu. Legendary creature, Dinosaur Cat, Nightmare. It's a Nightmare Cat, alright. So its Mutate is 5 mana, but I guess it kind of makes sense. So it's a 4 mana with double strike, 3/5 off the bat. That seems alright. It's okay as a beater. It definitely has a fucking Snapdax. Who comes up with these names? Anyway, I mean, it's way better than most Yu-Gi-Oh card names anyway. But anyway, so when this mutates, it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. You gain 4 life. I think that's good. Because it's effectively removal. And a little bit of life gain. But it doesn't seem to be one of those like win the game strategies. It just seems to be a bit more of like a... It's a bit more of a mid-range strategy, and currently mid-range doesn't really fit into standard. If it dealt damage to your opponent, then absolutely this card would be fucking mental. But because it's only like a creature or planeswalker, I'm kind of unconvinced. It's definitely not a bad card, however. I guess it's fucking an insane pick in Limited. But Snapdax, it's a B tier. B tier. Alright, okay, we've got Essence Scatter. Right, so it's... I mean, this Essence Scatter, of course, being the absolute best one because it's got our boy Seb McKinnon's art on it. So that goes straight in S tier, obviously. Where is it? Right, so easy peasy. We've got Gem Acid Destroyer, 4 mana, 3 and a green. Mutate, so its mutate cost is 3, which is nice and cheap. When this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. So I think this is really cool. If you're playing like some kind of mutate deck, it becomes like back row removal essentially. It's definitely not a main deck option for sure. So I think this goes... It's quite an obvious this is like probably C tier. Like it is usable, but it's not like... It sees Fringe play as like a side deck card, you know what I mean? It's definitely not unusable, it's like high C. But like in terms of, you know, destroying target artifact and enchantment, you'd probably just rather play Return to Nature or Embrith Shieldbreaker for whatever specific removal you want. When it comes to removal, you know, all the bells and whistles like, oh, this extra 1 mana gives you this extra thing, but ultimately what the card does and what you want it to do is just kill an artifact or enchantment. There's a lot of cards that do it for just 1 or 2 mana, and a lot of people just prefer them, clearly. Right, okay, so we're on Grim Dancer. 1 and 2 black. Uncommon Nightmare creature, and when it enters battlefield, with your choice of... So it enters the battlefield with your choice of 2 different counters on it from among Menace, Death Touch, and Lifelink. Yeah, alright, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like this. This is like a fucking absurd pick in Construct. Limited. God, I keep saying constructed because you construct the deck there, but it's limited. Yeah, this is like an obscenely good pick in Construct Limited. I'm just gonna keep doing that. So for that, I'm gonna put it in B tier because of how good it is in Limited and nearing the end-ish. Right, so we're on Sprite Dragon. It's Is It colors, just 1 blue, 1 red. Creature Fairy Dragon comes in with flying and haste, and whenever you catch a non-creature spell, Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Spike Dragon. It's kind of like Brineborn Cutthroat. Sadly, it doesn't have Flash. I don't know if that's going to play into how playable it is as a card. On the surface, I vaguely prefer it to Brineborn Cutthroat, simply because it has flying. So it just means you can just make it bigger and bigger and bigger forever, and just keep hitting over. And chances are when you're playing this in like turn 2, your opponent doesn't have the specific removal for it. That tends to be the case with Brineborn Cutthroat. Just the problem being is that you don't get a flash this in during the end phase. But I can certainly see this being tried out. Clearly this card's just a solid C. Like, it could move up to B, but it's a solid C. Alright, okay, so again, another mythic mutator with all art. We've got Brokos, Apex of Forever. And it is a 5 mana, 2, a black, green and a blue. Legendary creature, Nightmare Beast Elemental. Cool. Don't know why it's not an Elemental Nightmare Beast. That's what it is. So its mutate cost is also 5, which is nice. It seems like the 5 mana ones have a 5 mana mutate. So it means that you're not getting like less value at one or the other. So it's a 5 mana trample with 6/6. When you cast Apex Forever from your graveyard, right, so you may cast Brokos Apex Forever from your graveyard using its mutate ability. That's like extremely kind of cool. Like, I'm so inclined to put this into A tier because this essentially just comes back forever. You play a small guy, and you just immediately have like a big guy. I can definitely see this being like an extremely useful card. Like, especially like as an example, Vivian. Vivian make a token. Just cast this from grave forever. They have to exile it or they just keep casting it on top of shit. So, yeah, I'm going to put this in A. I think this card's really, really good. So this is one that I've actually not seen. I've not seen Crystal Giant. So, Crystal Giant, a 3 mana colorless artifact creature giant. So it's nice, we've got some more artifact creatures to play about with. At the beginning of your turn's combat, randomly choose one of the counters that aren't on Crystal Giant. Of the 10 types of counters in the set. Oh, right, okay, so this is the Mecha Godzilla. It's all art thing. I think this card is fantastic. I think it's really, really cool. It gives us like a 3, like it's just a solid 3 mana 3/3 that has like some nice, like one of random, like nice effect. I really like this card. I think it probably is super abusable in Historic. I kind of want to make like some kind of Ugin deck that can just fart these out. But yeah, I really like this. It's high B for me, high B. Okay, so now, right, we've got Biollante, which is such a dumb name. Art, again, incredible. Like, every kaiju art in this set is just amazing, right? Okay, so we've got, it's a 5 mana, 5/5 with Death Touch and Lifelink. Not bad. And it's a 2 mana, and then Abzan colors. Whenever this creature mutates, return any number of creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's like insane, right? So, if this card ain't abusable, I don't know what the fuck is. Its mutate cost is also... So the thing is, right, this card's mutate cost is 7, right, which is like super big. However, of course, you can cast this and then mutate something onto it, and then this should trigger. So, yeah, this card's like insane. So I think this goes straight into it. It's probably A tier, or at the very least like high B, like potentially highest B. Right, and Biollante goes into A tier. I'm so creeping on S tier for this card because it really, really is powerful. But I think just because of its like super big mana cost, it's like I don't see people being able to pull it off all that well. My E guy came back. Oh, Jesus, you're right. There he is. Card Dirgebat. For some reason it doesn't have the text here, so I need to like read it using my eyes. So it's a 4 mana black bat creature. So actually, I've seen this card before. It's really, really cool. It's got a mutate cost for 6. with flash and flying, so you can flash in the mutate, and when it does mutate, destroy a target creature or planeswalker your opponent controls. The problem is its mutate cost is like huge, right? So as an example, if you're playing like say Murderous Rider, which is like effectively the same thing, it's a 4 mana 3/3, which is like fine. That's okay with flying, you know. But if you're paying 6 mana, that you'd have to put this over a creature already. However, whenever you mutate, it keeps killing things, which is where you're getting like the, you know, you're getting your main value out of this. However, I think because of the initial mutate cost, it makes this card kind of unplayable. I guess we'll see, because there'll be better people playing this deck than me, if they ever do, but I'm going to put this into C, because I just don't see how playable it is over other options. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me because of how steep that mutate cost is. Right, okay, so we've got Udara, Wandering Monster. It's a 7 mana, 5 and 2 red, legendary creature, dinosaur turtle, which is cute. It's got trample and haste, so you've got a trample haster for 7. 8/8 as well, so far this is all sounding pretty good. It's got a 2 mana cycler on top of it, and when you cycle Udara, shuffle it into your library from your graveyard. If you cycled a card named Udara Wandering Monster 4 times this game, put it into the battlefield from your graveyard instead. Okay. This card is really cool. It's not good, but it's really cool. I really want this card to be better than it is. It's cool. It's so cool, but ultimately it is a C tier. It might even be D, because it's so, like, in terms of just being a beater, there's better options, and you're never getting that other effect. Yeah, I think this needs to go into D tier, honestly. Alright, okay, so we've got Giant Moth Cocoon next. And it's a 1 mana colorless creature egg. Whenever this creature mutates, put a 1/1 counter on it. So this is quite cool. So you can use this as like a base, mutate over it, and then your guy keeps getting bigger as it mutates. The problem with mutated stuff is kind of like the amass mechanic. It's kind of similar like that, because you don't mutate like a bunch of guys. You just mutate one guy. So unless something has mutate, this thing has hexproof. It makes things like super, like you've invested all these one things into this one guy, and then you just go, Murderous Rider, kill it, and then you go, right, so this I don't see being used. Like it's just not worth it, because I don't see things being mutated over and over again, because that just seems like really inefficient. So Cocoon just goes straight into D. Probably E, actually, because it won't see any play. We've got Everquo Phoenix as the next card. From remembering, I think this card's pretty cool. It has a nice alternate art, which I saw today, but I don't think it's updated on this. So it's a 4 mana, 2 and 2 red Phoenix, with flying 4/4. And whenever this creature mutates, create a red artifact token named Feather with pay 1, sacrifice Feather, return Phoenix card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I think it's really cool, actually, because this is way better as like a mutate base than the egg. Because you mutate it, and then it means that you get, for 1 mana, you get to bring your mutate guy back. It's just annoying that you can't get that Feather any other way. But I can definitely see some like low cost mutate thing. And the cool thing as well is every time you mutate it, you get another Feather. So, you know, theoretically, if you have one in grave already, you can then mutate a couple of times and then like bring 2 back or something. It's really, really cool. Mutate for 4, and it costs 4, so yeah, ultimately it is pretty good. However, you're only ever going to mutate this under a thing, or put something on top of it, so... Which is fine, because the cool thing is if you put this under something, it gives it flying, so that's quite nice. So I really like Everquo Phoenix. I'm going to put it in... Oh, it is B, it's B. A lot of B cards, definitely a lot of B cards. That's probably going to be the case for most sets. We're on to Kogla the Titan Ape. So that's 6 mana, 3 and 3 green, legendary creature ape. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to one target creature you don't control. Whenever Kogla attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. Okay, and 2, so like pay 1 and a green, return target human you control to its owner's hand. Kogla gains indestructible to end the turn. I mean, I think that it's just one of those cards that just has such a nice effect that ties in with what it does, like its name and the art, it's King Kong and all that. It's pretty bad though. I just think the card sucks dick. 6 mana for a 7/6, sure. Admittedly, the enter fight thing is pretty decent. And like, so that's a good point. It is a commander, but that's also irrelevant, basically. Like, I like that it comes in, fights the thing. When it attacks, it can, you know, destroy like a backrow thing. I mean, this thing is just straight up like a commander card. But I think that overall, in terms of like a competitive scene, it's too slow for this to be really that effective. This is okay, but you know, by the time you're playing 6 mana cards, fighting one thing, you know, you should already have like maybe a bit more of a board presence. So I just think it's that good, but it's cool. So I'm gonna put this in C, because it's certainly not entirely unplayable. Feels like the Gruul 5/5 for 4 giant. I know the one, but I can't remember what that does specifically. Does the fight effect count as an attack? It doesn't count as an attack, so it's not a case of like you play it and then it fights something and then it'll get to kill like a back row. It doesn't work that way. It's only when you declare an attack with it. Right, so we've got Primal Empathy. This is a 3 mana enchantment. It's a 1 and Simic, and at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield. Otherwise, put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control. Honestly, on the surface, this card seems really good. I know there's like a few cards that like gain effects from having 1/1 counters on it. I can't remember if that's super relevant to this, but ultimately this card really has a lot of value in it, especially for 3 mana. This is such an incredible pick in Limited. I think just because of how insane this is in Limited, I'm going to put this up to a B tier. Because like I think like big Limited bombs can go like low B. And it really seems like that thing that picks keywords, and that enchantment just seems like win the game cards. So right, cool. Now we're on to Labyrinth Raptor, second last card. It is black and red Nightmare Dinosaur, which is kind of nice. With Menace, so it's 2 mana 2/2 with Menace. That's like right on the money, because Menace is one of those keywords that shit until it isn't. And when a creature you control Menace becomes blocked, defending player sacrifice a creature blocking it. That's like so good. This is like such a nice turn 2 play. Like, attack with this. Okay, I'm taking 2 damage, and if I want to kill this, I need to sack one of my guys. I really like this as well. And also, you can pay a black and a red, and it gains +1/+0. So it's kind of slightly irrelevant, but it's I like this a lot. I'm gonna, so like, I know I'm kind of bigging this up, but I feel it's like a very strong C. I don't think it's quite a B, because it's like, you know, you're not building your deck around Labyrinth Raptors. So we've got Colossification. Right, so it's a 7 mana enchantment aura. When it enters the battlefield, tap the enchanted creature, and enchanted creature gains +20/+20. So people are going like, oh no, it doesn't work with Storm Herald, oh dear. Right, who gives a fuck if it works with Storm Herald or not? You ramp to 9 mana, you play that, you fling whatever the fuck it's on, and you win the game immediately. Like, this is an immediate win button. Why don't people say this? This card's a low B. In fact, this definitely goes in B, because this card is like win the game in Limited. Like, this card just lets you win the game in Limited. And that was the first wave of Ikoria. So far the set's actually looking incredibly promising, especially compared to Theros. So I'll have another video like this tomorrow as spoilers come out, and hopefully if you've made it this far, I'll see you then. Catch you later. Hey, so thanks for watching this video to the end, and again, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing and hitting the bell icon if you enjoyed it. And also, if you really enjoyed it, go follow us on Facebook and Twitter if you like magic memes, and go follow us on Twitch as well, where you get to watch videos like this happen live. And obviously that means you get to interact with us as well, and we're pretty cool. You'll like us. Anyway, just thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next video.